Hi, this is Jeff French. I'm going to be your host for the duration of this video. I'm going to be talking about the Chestnut EVO, and this is just an overview. I will be doing some other videos going into deeper detail on some of the features of the EVO in later videos, but I think you need an overview before I go, into that type of depth. I've provided a little bit of my posts in the video on the bottom panel. It indicates that I am the editor of Texas Knights and the assistant editor of the Chess Correspondent. Both of these magazines are published both digitally and in print. You can learn more about them. I have provided links in the information of this video where you can, go to the different websites of the organizations, the Texas Chess Association and the Correspondent Chess League of America. These are the two organizations that produce these different publications. And, if you're interested, I suggest you join. They're good organizations. And, you can, have some fun. There are, puzzles in the publications. There's games with analysis in both of the publications, and there's other stories, chess related, player related, in those publications. So I recommend you check it out, maybe join up, because neither of them cost a whole lot. And if you want to play in either of these organizations' tournaments, you kind of have to be a member. So just letting you know. So enjoy that. Let's move on to the EVO itself. Let's start by talking about the device itself. It is basically an electronic chessboard with a Android tablet attached to it. I can't make it any simpler than that. The base of the device is wood. It is not plastic. I'm guessing it's pressed wood. I can't really tell. It is smooth. It's nicely manufactured. The board itself is very slick. I mean, it's gray and white. It's easy to differentiate between the two different colored squares. Pieces themselves are black and white. This should be similar to what the players are either playing black or white. So there's no question of what color pieces they should be using. The tablet itself, like I said, is an Android device. The board is basically the same size as a Chestnut Air, as are the pieces. As a matter of fact, the pieces are interchangeable. The difference between the Air and the EVO, as far as the board is concerned, is the rank and files are noted as far as the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, of which rank and file you'd put in notation, so it makes it possibly a little bit easier if you need to have that information. But again, these are electronic boards. They will keep track of your games for you. So is it really necessary? Probably not. If you are playing over the board, you can play over the board with either of these boards, and they will capture the games for you. Again, do you really need the the notation of the rank and files on the board? Again, probably not. So let's move forward. I'm going to talk just a little bit more about the pieces. The king is the primary way we determine what the size of a chess set is, and it's how most we compare other chess sets. This particular king runs in at about 2 5/8 maybe inches. It's the exact same size as a Chestnut Air pieces. They are, again, like I said, they are interchangeable. I could take the pieces off the Air, put them on this, have wooden looking pieces if I wanted to, and of course I could take these and move them over to the Air and use them there as well. So that's pretty much as far as the pieces and the boards are concerned. The board, I haven't mentioned the LEDs. They surround the entire square, unlike the Air, which is just a green LED that will light up depending on when it's needed. In this case, you can actually change the colors, and I will show you that of each individual square based on the piece that it is going to be going there, or it's needed, or whatever the case may be. And you can select a different color for every color, every piece type. So, and I'll show you that here in just a couple minutes, so you will have no doubt what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's talk about the video for just a second. I've already mentioned the lower panel. That is just some information. I also give you a photograph of the device itself, so you can see what it actually looks like. The video above it doesn't really represent what it looks like, so I thought I'd show you that. I've done things just a little bit differently from the last overview video, and I'm actually going to replace the last overview video if you saw it. This is a little bit different in that the tablet itself isn't actually a camera anymore. It's actually a basically sharing the screen with another application, and it's called something called VNC. And this is a common method of doing remote desktop sharing and stuff like that. You can do it on other devices other than just Windows and Macintoshes and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, there is a VNC Server available for Android, and that is exactly what I'm running right now on the EVO tablet. And if you see these little icons, this little horseshoe, and there's another icon basically indicating that the screen is being shared, that is because of the VNC server. And what you're seeing, and I'm actually moving my mouse around on, is a VNC Viewer that I'm running on my laptop, and I'll be controlling the chestnut from this quote-unquote window, the viewer window of the VNC, and it just makes it a lot easier to see. I'm not pointing a camera to it, so my hands won't get in the way of the screen itself. It's a lot clearer. I don't have to worry about focusing, and I just think it's a better environment for you to see. So just be aware, this is what that is. However, the board itself, yeah, it's a camera still, and as a matter of fact, it's also got the microphone I'm using in that camera. So when you're hearing me and you're seeing the board, it's being handled by a single camera. So instead of two cameras, in my videos now, it's just a single camera, and the only camera that is even being used is pointing at the board. So, and I've brightened that up a little bit from the last video, so I hope it works a little bit better. I think it looks better, and I hope you enjoy the video. So let's get started on the overview. So I'm going to go to what I call the hamburger menu. There's basically a bun and a burger in the middle, so that's why I call it a hamburger, and I've heard it called by other people that. I didn't make that up, so we'll call it the hamburger menu here too. And this is typically where you would log into your Chestnut account. You don't have to. I mean, you can still go and play on the EVO and not even be logged into the Chestnut account. I kind of recommend that you do, because after you've played some games, you can upload them to your account, and then bring them back down to other apps in PGN file format or whatever the case may be. So I don't see any real problem doing it. You do have to be connected to the internet to do that, and in order to do that, you have to go into your Android system settings, go into network and internet, and as you can see, there's a Wi-Fi set up. My Deep Space Nine router is basically connected to, or the EVO is connected to the Deep Space Nine router, and that's how I communicate to the internet, right? So, and when I click on this button right here, most of these different functions on the EVO, for whatever reason, are closable, and I don't like to use up a whole lot of memory, because I don't know how much it'll affect some of the future video if I get too low on memory. And it has quite a bit of memory in it, don't misunderstand, but if I keep it clean, that I don't have to worry about it. And clicking on that plus will allow me to basically just click and slide up on it and get rid of the background window that I was showing you. And I'm going to be going through quite a few of those, and I'll try to keep it clean. So close them down, and you might see me doing that. But don't worry about it. It's typical Android handling of applications. If you don't close them down, they run until more memory is needed and close down themselves. So Anyhow, so let's talk about the chessboard settings. There's a sound option. You can turn on and off sounds. I personally leave it off. I'm in a living room. I might bother my spouse, and I don't want to do that. So she I'm sure appreciates that when she's painting or reading or watching TV, and I can sit here and still do whatever I want to do, and not bug her with unwanted sounds. So the chessboard LEDs, you can turn them on and off. I told you, they encircle the entire squares. You do not have to have them, though. I personally kind of like them, and I'll show you why as time goes on. They're handy, they're useful, and I think you should probably leave it on. So, but again, your call. I told you could change the colors of the squares based on what piece and what color piece is associated with the that on that square, or being moved to that square, whatever the case may be. What color will show in that surrounded in those LEDs surrounding the square. And I have them set up basically to be the same color, where the black pieces are just a darker shade, and that works for me. I kind of like it. So you can change the brightness of the LEDs themselves. This will make a determination on how bright those, regardless of what you have for colors, how bright they are when they actually show up on the board, or are illuminated on the board, I guess is a better way to put it. Keep in mind that they will be in color. If I didn't change any of these colors, they'd all be white, and they'd all be the same color white. So I just like the ability to differentiate the different colors and have an idea what piece is going to be, moving to a square or moving from a square, or whatever the case may be, where that would, an LED would light up with the colored piece. So, okay. And again, like I said, you can change the LED brightness, allow takebacks. That's all about playing with an engine. If you want to be able to take back a move, if you blunder or you said, oh, that wasn't a great move, let's try something else, and take it back and continue on your game. If you want to play, tournament level, you don't have to have that on. Turn it off and you can't take back anymore. So, and there are a couple other things on this screen I'm not going to go over, in detail, but one thing I do want to mention is this is, where you would do an update to your software on the EVO itself. This is what would come from the manufacturer of the chestnut boards. I think they're called Chestnut Tech, but there's only one T in that name, so maybe Chestnut Tech. Don't quote me on that. I haven't really talked to anybody directly to say, hey, what's the name of that company? I really couldn't tell you, but it is Chestnut ECH. So, and you can go to their website and just search under Google for it, and you'll find them. So anyhow, but if you have auto check updates, it will notify you that there's an update available. You can come back here. This little button here will be blue. It will tell you there's an update available. You click on it, wait for it to download and perform the update, and it will turn back green and tell you you're up to date. And at this particular point in time, I am up to date. So let's go back to here. Let's go to the Android system settings, and I'm not going to go to a lot of extreme detail here. I do want to, I've already talked about the network internet settings, and you need to connect to the internet through your home router or whatever, so you can use the internet. There is a Firefox browser built into this board on this particular tablet, and of course you can access the internet and go to pretty much any website you want to. So, but anyhow, so the big thing here for me is the accessibility options, and specifically the Chestnut Vision options. Chestnut Vision is nothing more than the ability for some chess website, application, book, video to make use of the physical board. Okay, and this may be just to show you where the pieces go if you're watching a video, or it might actually be interaction between when you're playing on a website like chess.com or Lichess or heck GameNot or chessworld.net. You aren't limited just to buy what's built into this board or the set. I mean, you can go to different websites under Firefox, and even if it's not directly supported, ChessVision may allow you to use it anyhow, and that's a huge feature that I haven't seen in or any other boards, to be honest with you, and it's quite frankly a big selling point. I mean, this would be the reason I'd be buying something like this. And I was lucky enough that the Chestnut Tech, sent me this for free to evaluate and do a review of, and I'm grateful. It's awesome. So anyhow, so there's a couple options on use for Chestnut Vision. You can come to this screen every time, turn it on and off, as you need it. I personally like the shortcut, and if you look down here, I actually have the shortcut on right now. That's the Chestnut Vision shortcut. If I turn that off, that shortcut goes away. If I turn it on, it comes back on. Oop. And it asks me, hey, are you sure you want to do that? And there's where you can find it. And yeah, so it's back on again. And when I click on that, if it's not on, and I can tell if it's on because a little board similar to that icon will show up right up in here. I can click on it, and as you can see now, Chestnut Vision is on. And if I click on it again, now Chestnut Vision is off, and I can do that on the fly anytime I want to because it's always sitting right there for me to do. So anyhow, like I told you, all of these activities seem to be individual closable activities. I think it's an interesting way to do it. May even be separate apps. I really don't know. But what I can tell you is I can close them down. I prefer to, just to keep things clean, and again keep the memory as active and clean of things that I'm not using anymore as possible. So okay, so we talked about the chessboard settings. We talked about the Android system settings. Let's go to the Chestnut socket. And I'm just going to give you a quick note here. The Chestnut socket is nothing more than allowing other devices on your Wi-Fi network to connect to your Chestnut EVO. And there are drivers that allow you, like under Windows, for example. You install a driver, and it basically becomes an engine to other applications. And you load those engines in, and you basically use that engine as a you're the brains of the engine, basically. And that's kind of how something old like Chessmaster does. The other, the newer apps like Fritz and ChessBase and Shredder and I think Lichess, those applications directly support connecting e-boards and specifically DGT e-boards. So what these drivers do for the EVO and even other e-board manufacturers, including other Chestnut boards, basically simulate that DGT driver in those apps that support a DGT board. So you don't have to have a DGT board in order to use your EVO or other e-boards with those applications that only support DGT. So that's kind of nice because all of a sudden you have the ability to use a lot other e-boards, including Square Off Pro and the DGT Pegasus, which wasn't directly supported most of the time in these applications. They typically support the more expensive DGT professional boards, and that's fine. But you don't have to worry about that anymore. If you have an electronic board, there's very likely a driver that you can use to access your physical board with those applications now. So it's kind of neat. And again, if it's an older application that uses a UCI or WinBoard engine, it will simulate that, and you become the brains of the engine. So that's all there is. And Chessmaster, for example, works really, really well. You basically set up a 2-engine, game, and you select the EVO driver or the EVO engine, and you become the brains of that engine, and you play just as if you were playing against another one of the personalities under Chessmaster. So I highly recommend give it a try. Don't throw out Chessmaster yet, man. It's still very much a pretty decent application to play against if that's something you're interested in doing. So keep it in mind. All right, so I've gone through all of the hamburger menu options. There is really no sense in returning to that. So let's move on to the bot matches. This is playing against an engine. You have 3 options. Right out of the gate, this is built in as is. You have Maya, you have Stockfish, and you have Leela Chess Zero already there, ready for it to play against you. And on every one of them, you can select whether you want to play, chess or standard chess, chess 960, or you can even, get into a board editor, set up a position, and you can actually set up the position on the physical board. And when you bring that up, it's going to actually show that position, and you can say, hey, yeah, that's where I want to start, and let's go. And of course, you can pick which color you want to play, or have it randomly select one. You can make other settings, if you want to actual, play against a specific time, set up a clock for, the players to adhere to, and if, time runs out, they lose, just like in a tournament environment. And you can, make other engine settings, and it kind of depends on, which engine it is, which settings you get, and what you can modify. So keep that in mind. There are 3 engines right there just waiting to play against you. So, and once you get it set up, you just hit start and bring up a board, and you can start playing. And you play on the physical board, right? You play on the board. You don't play on the the digital board that comes up. So just have fun. All right. So let's go down to the online match. Again, you're getting ready to play a game, or do some studying, or whatever the case may be. These are the ones that are built directly in and easily accessible. They aren't the only things you can access. However, you can go into the Firefox browser and access a website and play just as if with the physical board, as long as you have Chestnut Vision on. So, and by the way, like Lichess, ChessKit, and Chessable all require Chess Vision to be on. If you have an option with chess.com, if you use Chess Vision, if you select the Chess Vision option, it will actually launch Firefox and take you to the chess.com website, and you can play bots and play people and solve puzzles and do whatever you want with the physical board. It's really very nice. And where chess.com, the official API, seems to be more about playing a game. So you may be able to go to other places. I typically use Chess Vision. I prefer it, so I haven't played around with this a whole lot. Play around with it. See what you like. See if you like it. I don't know. I like the Chess Vision option, and it seems to work very well. So keep that in mind. That is that is the only thing I found so far of all the different options, from the main screen, that ends up not being something I can close down. It seems to be something that's actually part of the application, so and that's fine, whatever. We've already gone to the apps very briefly. Again, this is an Android operating system. You can, install other apps at will. You do have to go and find yourself an app store. They recommend app to IDE. It's okay. I would have really preferred they used or had Google Play Store available, because I have some chess apps that I've paid for that add features with my payment, and they call them the Pro version or whatever the case may be. But hey, it is what it is. I hope they change their mind and actually add Google Play Store support to the EVO, but we'll see. I have another app store called F-Droid. F-Droid is really about hosting open source applications, and again, you can just go to it, find your apps, and download them and install them. You do not have to just use app to IDE, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Amazon App Store might work. I haven't tried it. I might someday, but right now I've got app to IDE and F-Droid, and the reason I did F-Droid is right now because I couldn't find the Droid VNC, which I'm using. So you can easily see the tablet part of the device without having to use a camera, and that's what I'm actually using, and I got it from F-Droid. And again, it's free. These are open source applications, and they'll ask you, if you like it, give them a couple of bucks to, or buy them a coffee or whatever the case may be, and that's all well and good. And if you use it a lot and you like it, I suggest you do. Anyhow, the only applications that are actually installed by default are, of course, I've already mentioned Firefox, the calendar, the clock, settings, and I think the gallery is the only ones. Everything else I've installed myself. I will mention that Chess PGN Master, this is a PGN viewer, You can download it from app to IDE, and it even has something called Chess PGN Master, and I want to say it's the Pro Key. And if you download that, it basically adds functionality and removes ads and stuff like that. It basically becomes the pro version, and you can download that for no cost. So this is a great application. All kidding aside, I've used it for a couple of years now, and I use it on my other Android devices often. And I find it to be just a wonderful chess application. If you have never used it before, I highly recommend you give it a try. The same author actually writes Chess Dojo. Chess Dojo, is a game-playing application. Again, it directly, both of these apps directly support the EVO. You do not have to turn on Chess Vision to use them. As a matter of fact, when you launch them, if Chess Vision is on, it will tell you to turn it off. And it directly supports working with the physical board, so that's kind of nice. Chess Dojo, again, I think it's a paid app under Google Play Store, under app to IDE. You can just download it and play it. And the neat thing about Chess Dojo is you can play against different personalities that are by default already set up, and it's typically famous players. I mean, there's a Gary one that's supposed to be Gary Kasparov. There's I believe a Bobby Fischer one, or and Alekhine, and Tall, and just a whole list of them. And I'm going to go through a couple of these apps in more detail later. I just want to show you the overview. Oh, Files is another one that's actually included with the. I didn't mention that before. Is also included with the by default on the EVO. Anyhow, and I've installed a couple other things. This master database actually works directly with the Chess PGN Master, so I kind of like to have it. It gives me some master games. If I want to, study a master game, it's the easiest way to do it, in my personal opinion. I also install a different file manager because it allows me to connect to my home shared network and access shared folders that have some chess videos on it and stuff like that, rather than having to copy them over to the the actual EVO itself, and I can just remotely play those videos. So that makes it nice. It doesn't take up as much room as videos can do, and I have access to all of them just by accessing them from the other file explorer. And it's actually called Chess CX File Explorer. And again, it's a free app. It's available on app to IDE. I don't think it's available on F-Droid, but it may be. And it works very, very well. I highly recommend you give it a try if you need a different file explorer that also supports remote connectivity through like Samba or something like that to get to a file share on like a desktop computer or something like that. So anyhow, that's all I'm going to really mention on as far as the applications are concerned. Let's go to analysis. Again, this is it should be pretty common. If you ever analyzed a chess game, you can turn on and off the score. That's your typical black and white bar that shows you who's winning based on the size of the bar. If black is bigger, black is winning. If white is bigger, which I don't know if it is right now based on how it's actually set on the thing, but set on the next to the board, but there aren't any moves, so they should be even, right? Anyhow, but what you can do is you can load in a game right here, or you can just start from ground zero with the default startup, and it will actually start showing you the 5 best options for your moves. And I'll start playing, and I'll just show you how this works, and you can actually see how things go. So I've made one move. Now it's looking at black's move, and it's showing you what it considers the 5 best moves for black at this position. And again, we're kind of in book openings right now, and that's okay. I mean, I'll just continue to make a couple moves here, just so you can see. And that's the first time I've actually done a whole lot of moving on chessboard, so you can actually see the squares light up and stuff like that while I'm doing that. So. And I can continue playing. And if you notice, when I pick up a piece, it's showing the color that I have defined in the chess color setup. And again, I'm picking this up. It's a little bit a different color. It looks like it might be a pinkish or a red. I don't know what color I picked on that one, to be honest with you. But anyhow, I think it was purple. But anyhow, so that gives you an idea how things work. And again, now I'm on black's move number 5 because I've made 4 full moves with black and white. And after I've made 2 full moves, okay, and I've tried it with half a move, I've tried it with a full move, I've tried it with 1.5 full moves, and then I've tried it with 2 full moves. Until you get to the second full move actually being done, review won't work. You can click it all you want, but it doesn't do anything. But after you get to that second one, you can click review. And I see this as being used, for, if you import a game, a PGN file or whatever the case may be. And you can actually import them from your online cache of games that you've stored up on the Chestnut website or archives, and it will actually analyze the games. And this should be pretty common. It shows you with the every one of those moves was the best move. We're in a book opening, and you would think maybe it would be. As a matter of fact, I would have actually guessed they wouldn't have rated them until I got past the openings. But hey, what do I know? But everything from being a blunder to being the absolute best move you can make, and this should be common. And I can click on these different locations and see where I'm at any particular point in time. It doesn't affect the physical board when I'm doing this in the analysis mode. So just be aware. It's pretty cool. I can also start at a setup position on on the analysis. I can go back and forth and that kind of stuff. Now I came back and I'm reset. Right? Look what the board's doing. All the lights, pieces that aren't in the right position are now, illuminated, either saying there should be a piece here, or there should be, you don't have a piece, that piece is in the wrong position. So keep in mind. As I start, moving pieces back to where they are, those lights, and it doesn't have to be in any particular order. I don't have to go in the order that I moved them or anything like that. I'm resetting up the board. And as I do that, I move the pieces, from, where they aren't supposed to be to where they are supposed to be. Both of those squares turn back off, right? So, and it doesn't matter. And if I have moved it to the wrong place, those LEDs would either illuminate because it's wrong, or they would, stay illuminated just to maybe change to a different color or whatever the case may be. So be aware of that. And I think that's about all I'm going to cover as far as the analysis is concerned. So let's move out of that. Let's talk about engine. This allows you to download other engines. You can do it at any time you want to. I haven't found a need. I think the 3 engines available are pretty decent, and sometime I might get bored and try them, but I haven't yet. I'm still getting very used to just using the board and having fun with it, and I'm going to continue to do that. And there may be a time that I do that. This is also where you have the opportunity of training personalities, where you can send a PGN file up to the Chestnut site. It uses something called ChessMind Platform, I think it's called, and you can create, based on your PGN files, a personality based on the games in that PGN file. And you might pick a single opponent that you're getting ready to play, and you want to play against them in a simulated way. You would find all the games you can, or at least the good games you can of that opponent, upload them, create a personality, bring that personality down, and play against it. So it's pretty cool. And I haven't done any of that yet, but I know you can, and if it's something of interest to you, certainly do it. This particular board, when I got it, it had 10 free training sessions available to me without having to start paying for them. I've heard if you didn't get free training sessions, you can contact the manufacturer and ask for them, and evidently they typically will provide some for you. So keep that in mind. If you're going to need some practice understanding how these things work, and I think it makes sense to be provided a couple free training sessions so you can understand it before you have to start paying for it, and see even if it's something you really want to take advantage of. So keep that in mind. All right. Let's talk about career. Career is just playing games and improving your ELO. Every game you play will be based on your current level shown here. I've only played a couple games. I think it started at either 400 or 500. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was one of those two. I almost want to say it was 400, but it might have been 500. It might have been 600. I don't remember. Like I said, I've only played a couple games. Every time, if you win, that ELO goes up, and the next game you play will be a little bit more difficult based on whatever that rating currently is sitting at. And, you know, if you're a really strong player, you should be able to get, you know, that level up pretty high pretty quickly. So, and again, it's just playing games. So, and, you know, if you lose, I'm guessing the ELO may go down. I did do a draw once just to see what happened. I intentionally forced a stalemate, and the level of the ELO stayed the same. So, you know, I don't know if that's always the case. I can just tell you what I've experienced. So, that is career. Okay. Record, we've talked about a little bit. I told you could, you know, save your games up to the to your account, and then you can bring them back down and do analysis or whatever the case may be. So if I clicked on this, so there's some options. I can go grab the PGN and I could import them. You know, get the PGN. I think it copies it to the clipboard. Don't quote me on that. I think it does. I think I've done it once. I haven't played with it all that much. I don't want to tell you wrong, but I think if you click on PGN, it's going to copy it to the clipboard, and then you could import it into like PGN Viewer if you wanted to. And you can also click on it and bring it into the analysis section that we've shown earlier. And you can do a review right then and there and see, you know, where the blunders are based on the moves and stuff like that. And you can also delete it off your account. So be careful. And that's pretty much it. So that's your record. And the final thing is the clock. I don't know why they call it clock. It's over the board play. This is where you could sit with an opponent, play against them, and you know, play a game, and it will record it for you. You can play standard chess 960, or you can even set up a position and start from there if you would want to. Maybe you saved a PGN file earlier on, and you remember what the board was set up, but you used it for other over the board play. You could bring it back in, you know, set up that board position to where you were before and continue a game you started with someone else, or even the same player. So that's kind of neat. You can use a clock in this particular instance. You know, if you click on right now, unlimited there'll still be a clock, but it will count up instead of down. Where if I set actually a time instead of unlimited and even increments, it will start at that position and go down. And if there is an increment, of course, it will increment after you've moved, and it will add that additional time back to your clock. So the only difference between typical tournament over the board play and this over the board play is you don't have to press the clock. I don't know if that's a good thing. I think you need to get used to using a clock in a real over the board tournament. It's probably better to use a physical device, but it's there. It can be fun, and again, this is about enjoying the game, in my personal opinion, maybe learning something from it. And as I continue on with some of these videos, I'm going to show you, some of the features you can use to, help improve your game. And a couple of them I've covered in a little bit, of a way already. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, you can contact me at any time at texasknightsed@texaschess.org. I'm also available on Facebook. I have a Texas Knights Ed Facebook page, and I have Messenger, available. You can contact me through, Messenger with that if you'd like. I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you might have about any of the chestnut boards. I don't have a Pro and I don't have a Chestnut Air Plus, but I do have a EVO, I have a Go, and I have an Air. And the Air is something I bought myself. The Go and the EVO were provided by the manufacturer, which I'm grateful, and I'll be doing a review of the Go as well at some particular point in time in Texas Knights, and videos for it as well. So hope you enjoyed. We will see you again soon.